Page 13, double-decker bus. Here we're just using more of what we already have. There's nothing new being presented, but the music is getting a little more challenging. And there's some tricky things going on in this piece, so let's talk about it. It looks like it's 4 lines long, but there's a DC al fine, so it's longer than that. But we just have 4 lines to learn, sort of. If you look at it, you'll find that actually you only have like 2 lines to learn because there's a lot of repetition going on. Then we got treble and bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature, so we're in the key of C major, and we have 4/4 time signature. I want to take it one hand at a time because both hands are busy. Starting with the right hand, you're starting with thumb on middle C, and you don't need that 3, that finger number 3, you can cross that out. Please don't be reading finger numbers here. You only need a finger number when you got to move the hand here. And so once I know my hand is here, I don't need any other finger numbers for those first 2 measures. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 3rd measure, I got to come up here to this position. I'm in this C position. This is similar to what we had to do in the previous video. You just lift up and move. So you're here, lift up and move. And then you come back down for the next one where you were. Thumb again down here. You're just coming from this C position to this C position. In the 3rd line, well, you end the 2nd line here, and 3rd line you're coming down the 2nd finger. You're still in C position, but you're just playing a D instead of a C. And you don't need the finger number on the D, although it doesn't hurt because you had to move. But I'm telling you, you're just going from C position to C position. Lift up and move. See, they don't give you finger numbers every time you move because you see the pattern is repeating itself. You're going from here to here, and once they've established the fingering for the pattern, when the pattern appears again in the music, they usually don't give you fingering for it again. You're expected to remember what you did first. So we're just using the same fingering we used on the first line on all these other lines. Left hand, let's look at it. It's all whole notes, but it's 2-note chords. It's C and an E here. We're in this position. They didn't give you any finger numbers, I'm just telling you. I mean, technically, you can play them with any fingers you want, but if you look at the 3rd measure, you got these notes. And in order to cover all of these notes in one hand position, we need to be in C position. That's how I figure out which position. I look at the notes in the first few measures and see what the notes are involved and where the fingers are. That tells me where they go. Here. Because it won't always be a nice, neat 5-finger position. Sometimes you're going to spread out. We'll get there. Well, assuming you don't give up before, then we'll get there. But anyway, you got C and an E, C and E again. Remember, I'm lowering the whole hand down here and let the wrist collapse a little bit. Don't play with stiff wrists. Stay relaxed. Try and get them down at the same time, but be relaxed about it. 3rd measure, it's an F and a G. And then the last measure, the 1st line. This is tricky because the top note is a whole note. The bottom note, it's 2 voices going on, really. It's like 2 people would be singing. One person would sing the G and then hold it out, and the other person would do the E and the C at the same time. So you got to hold that whole note down here, like when you do that. So don't lift it up. No, hold the whole note down. No other measure in here does that. Don't know why, but they don't. I mean, they could have done it on the 3rd line too, but they didn't. Okay, fine. We just do it here. And then go on. That's really the trickiest part of the left hand, so put the hands together. And really, it's the beginning of each measure you got to deal with. It's here, then here, then here. You got to move up here. This is okay. So at the end of the 1st line, I got these 3 notes down. And then right hand comes down. Get the idea, I hope. You go through and put the hands together, and then go back through as slow as you need to go. It doesn't matter, but take out all the hesitation so it's a steady beat all the way through. Then we can think about the articulation. They don't give you any articulation. There's no markings of anything in here. So I'm going to suggest we put in the phrasing. Let's part of interpreting. Articulation is part of interpretation. So if you can hear the sentences, where are they? It's like every two measures is a phrase, a sentence. Statement, reply, statement, reply. Statement, reply. Statement. Get the idea? So lift up. Well, you have to lift up because you're moving. In the left hand, you got to kind of lift up because they're chords, and that's okay. But it's not a. So you're gonna do that. Lift up. Just lift up. That's okay. Of course, you know you're going to look down at the keyboard when you move in the right hand. But you can also then immediately look up. You don't look down at the keyboard for a long time. You know what it looks like. You don't have to study it. You're just looking to where your hand goes. And once you got your hand there, you can look back up. As you're playing the notes, you can look back up to the music. Then once the articulation is in, then I think about the dynamics. That's the louds and the softs. It starts at MF, which is mezzo forte, which is moderately loud, medium loud, sort of loud. Not loud, just sort of loud. And that's the melody. These chords in the left hand need to be soft. You're very light in the left hand, a little heavier in the right. And the third measure, you're soft. Piano, P for piano is soft. So in the right hand. Left hand's got to be very soft. Third line, it's an F. That's forte. That's loud. It's up to you to decide how louds or softs these things are, because it's not a set. It depends on the set. You decide what is loud to you. The third line is going to be a little louder than you were at the beginning. In the right hand. Left hand's still in the background. And then you get a PP. Gotta love those PPs. Stands for pianissimo, which means very soft. Now, PP is not twice as soft as P. It doesn't work that way. Just because you add in a P, you're not multiplying anything. PP is just a little softer than P, because we can add more P's on here than this. So you were soft on the first line. This is softer than that. Very soft. That means the left hand is super soft, because we want to hear the right hand. Here. And then the fourth line again is loud in the right hand. Soft. Yeah, so you're getting good practice at this louds and softs in here, and it takes a little time to develop that kind of control. You have to experiment with it. As far as interpretation goes about it, well, we've added the phrasing and they got the dynamics in here. You just put in the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, just feel those. And that's about all we can do with that. How fast it goes up to you, but it has to be a steady beat. Now the DC al fine at the bottom, remember DC means go back to the beginning. And the fine is at the end of the second line, and that should be a thin and thick bar line there. So you can take a pencil and thicken out that second bar line in the end of the second line where the fine is. That symbol there should look the same as at the bottom of page 12. At the end of the piece, they gave you a thin and thick. That's the symbol for the end of a piece, and that's what should be at the end of the second line on page 13. Please don't copy me. You get into the music and you feel it and you do it. Whatever. Feel it. Let's play it together very slowly and check all the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any of the louds and softs. I'm going to play both hands about the same because I need you to hear all the notes. We're not performing it, we're just checking notes and rhythms. I will do the DC al fine though, so I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3 to the beginning. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.